purpose. So with this small introduction, I request Nanjun Swami sir to permit me to commence the class.
It's good, sir. Immun post madidena, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I hope there are around 26 participants who are joined this session. Anybody is from out of Karnataka here?
Yes, sir, from Maharashtra.
Okay, you are from Maharashtra. Otherwise?
Also, I am from Maharashtra, sir.
Oh, two from Maharashtra. Okay. Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay, so that's fair. Otherwise, the rest of them are from Karnataka, I guess. And anybody is from North Karnataka?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Baswaraj Hubbali, sir.
Yes, sir.
Professor Baswaraj from Bali. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr.
From
Ganesh
Hubbali,
Alandi from Dharwad.
Dr. Ganesh from Dharwad.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Very nice.
Savita Harish from Bijapur, sir.
You are from Bijapur. Thank you so much, Madam Savita, ma'am.
Okay.
Sir, I am from North Karnataka, but I am working in JSS HR.
JSS, may I know your name? Padmalatha?
No, Dr. Shankrama.
Dr. Shankrama.
Yes, Division of Nanoscience and Technology at JSS HR. Bunny Mentap College.
I know. That's our sister concern.
Institute.
Yeah. So, otherwise? Sir, I'm not able to listen you. You're talking something, but your mic is muted.
Sir, namaste. ನಾನು ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೇರಳ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಕೇರಳ
ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಪೆರಿಯಾರ್
ಹೌದು ಸರ್ ಪೆರಿಯಾರ್
ಸಾರಿ ಸರ್
ನಾವು ಇಬ್ಬರಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆರಿಯಾದವರು
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಪಿ
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅವರು ಮೈಸೂರಿನವರೇ
Okay, I was there, for the Department of Computer Science for many of these UGC-sponsored, HRD program from the Computer Science department, in the Computer Science department. Dr. Taslima, I guess, right? So she is the one.
Taslima madam idare.
Yes. So we have a very close interaction with that. So it's good to see some of are from out of Karnataka, Maharashtra, and some of are from North Karnataka, and some of the neighboring state, Kerala, that is Central University. And anybody is from Computer Science department? In this group, anybody is from Computer Science? No one. Okay, so more or less I can see on the participant list that many of you are the doctorates, right? So which is a great thing. And so as I already mentioned, two are from Maharashtra and many of them are from North Karnataka and Central University, Kerala, and even in the same place, that is in the Mysore, who is sitting nearly around 7 to 8 kilometers away to more than 700 kilometers away, right? So which is Maharashtra. How it is possible? It's all, you have not really, come all the way, traveled from Maharashtra to Mysore to attend the session, or even just the 7 kilometers away, the university, you need not to come from your place. But it was a great difficulty for your, the other teammates who have attended before the COVID, right? So because whenever these kind of an activities was conducted, they used to travel all the way from different parts of India, Mysore, it could be North India also, right? So since it is an UGC HRD program, they used to travel from all the different parts of India, and they attended this kind of a program through offline mode. But now the things have changed, especially from 2021, from down the line from 2 years, the things have changed. See, everybody is so comfortable sitting in your place and, in a relaxed way, in a relaxed mode, to the certain extent, with your comforts, and very importantly, especially for the ladies, not missing their husband, not missing their kids, not missing their home and hometown, right? So how it is possible? How basically all this possible?
By technology, sir.
By technology, a great answer, right? So by technology, right? So the only one and the answer that we can give is the technology. That's it. So irrespective of any other domains that we are working, right? So I'm not exclusively talking only about the computer science, whether it could be you taking from the language, right? So it could be Maharashtra, the Marathi, Kerala, it could be Malayalam, it could be Karnataka in Kannada, right? So taking all the languages, including the languages to the core computer science, right? So this technology has not left any domain or any particular field untouched, right? So it has penetrated almost all the areas, right? So with so many advantages, right? So with so many advantages, such that it has avoided so many hurdles, right? So that where you need not to travel all the way from your place to Mysore, but still you are very comfortable in attending these things, right? So as we already know, you will be evaluated, right? So you will be evaluated and your feedback will be taken, but once again it is through online mode, and you will be sharing the feedback, which is once again through online mode. Everything is through online mode, and it is so comfortable, right? So and it is so comfortable. So this is part one, right? So maybe there could be another big debate that can really goes on, right? So as such, there is no any alternate for this, right? So there is no alternate for this, or do we find any sorts of an do we find any sorts of an disadvantages or the limitations of this kind of a technology? Yes, right. So it is definitely yes, right. So we have the plus, we have the minus, right. So but only thing is, we being the highly educated community in the society, right. So we should always look for, right. So something which is a plus, right. So which is which are we have the great advantages, right. So otherwise we can also look for some of the disadvantages which can be debatable, right. So because people are talking something about the teacher himself is getting replaced with the artificial intelligence technique. Yes or no? Yes or no? Dr. Praveen sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll have an interaction session, right? So because whatever the discussion that we are doing, it's basically it's a full of the very trivial discussions that we are going to make, right? So in one or the other way, we definitely know that you will be using, right? So you'll be using these techniques or the technologies in your present area, right? So in your present area, but we'll try to have the interaction session. Dr. Praveen sir, you are from which discipline, basically? Dr. Praveen?
Sir, Kannada subject, sir.
Oh, you are from Kannada.
Yes, sir.
But you are from Kannada, but do you have in Kannada language in your central university?
Yes, sir. Now Kannada department,
Very
Kannada
nice.
MA ಇದೆ.
Okay, so we
PhD
have
ಇದೆ.
Dr. Rekha ma'am. Rekha ma'am, you are from which discipline? You belongs to which discipline?
Sir, Kannada.
You are also from Kannada. Okay. So then Dr. Ganesh sir? Dr. Ganesh sir?
Sir, I'm from chemistry department, sir.
That's really great, right? So that is from chemistry department. Dr. Suresh sir? Suresha GP. Dr. Suresha GP?
Sir, I am from library science, sir.
Oh, you are from, okay, you are from library science. Very nice.
I am working in a librarian for HP Borea First Year College, sir. Jagalur, it's located in Jagalur.
Okay, okay. Very nice. Very nice, sir. Very nice, sir.
Applied to
Sachin sir? Sachin sir?
Zoology, sir. I am from zoology.
Zoology?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so great, right? So see, we have a chemist here. We have a linguistic person here, right? So we have a chemist here. We have a linguistic person. We have a zoologist, right? So we have probably there could be a mathematician also. There could be a physicist also, right? So irrespective of any domain, but this information technology, right? So one madam has said it is basically a technology, but it is not only the technology, but it is an information technology. But how the difference between the various sorts of technology, right? So by taking the information, right? So we'll do these kind of things very effectively, right? So that is what actually we are going to define and discuss for another 60 minutes of time before the break, right? So before the break, right? So if you see this, the slow progress that what actually we have made in this technology, right? So I think it is a tremendous way. It's been done in the tremendous way. Right. So probably you might have observed, right? So for example, if you see your own kids, right? So who are studying even in the primary class or even in the middle class or even in the higher education institutes, right? So no kid will really will really can go to can not dependent, right? So not dependent upon these kind of technology, right? So what is the first and foremost thing that they'll do, especially if you see this generation, right? So the first and foremost thing, whatever the assignment that they'll give the teacher, right? So I think you might have seen, right? So immediately the first and foremost thing that they'll do is they'll go to Google, right? So they'll type whatever the question that has been given by the teacher, right? So they'll simply type and they'll get answer. But now the question arises whether the answer that is given by the Google is right or wrong. Right. So we have not evaluated, right? So we have not evaluated at any given point of time, right? So for example, even we do the same thing, right? So we have prepared, to the class, right? So we have prepared to the class to the best extent, right? So by using various, course materials, reference materials that are available at the internet, right? So how did we get all this information? Through, some sorts of search engines, but do we have, right? So and any sorts of validation that we have done, whether the contents that we are looking for, right? So the contents that we are presenting for the students, right? So is up to the mark, right? So or it is whether it is a relevant or whether it is a not relevant, right? So it's a tremendous, it's really a big question mark for anyone, right? So why so much of dependency on that? And it's not only the dependency, right? So, but it is also a belief, right? So it is also a belief, it's in trust, right? So that we believe that almost all the answers that we get through the Google is right, right? So maybe this can be considered as an advantage as well as the disadvantage, right? So how advantage? Because the most of the results that you are going to get, right? So are very close to your answer, right? So that is point number one. And if you see most relevant, information is also opposite to the answers that you are expecting, right? So yes or no, Savita ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, right. So, but you just try it, right? So you just go to Google and type a question, right? So you will get an answer, right? So in a contrary, right? So just to make sure that the answer is not right, right? So that the answer is not right, so you will get a same set of an question which are in the opposite side. Agree, Savita ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Agree? Yes.
Yes.
Right. So, but if you see the present trend, right? So there are so many things that they do themselves, right? So, for example, if you see most of the girls who are in the teenagers and all, their diet plans, the preparation of their diet plans, right? So they are highly dependent on the Google, right? So you take, for example, you take for an example one ingredient, right? So it will give lots of advantage, especially to lose their weights. This is what happens, especially in most of the females, especially who are in the age group of our teenagers, right? So it always tells that you should drink green tea, right? So in the morning, such that your fat will be reduced. You should drink with the honey and the lemon, right? So such that your fat will be burnt and weight will be reduced, right? So, but have you ever given a thought, right? So without any hesitation, we'll simply blindly follow these methods, right? So we have not evaluated for that, right? So we have not evaluated for that, right? So why I'm giving these examples is, see, whenever we are using some technology, right? So whether it is for our educational purposes, right? So whether it is an educational purposes, whether it is for your research activities, right? So whether it is for evaluation, right? So I think more or less you need to really understand, right? So you need to understand, you need to take care of various properties of the properties or the characteristics of the information technology, right? So in terms of scalability, in terms of integrity, in terms of availability, in terms of reliability. One of the wonderful example that we can give that I can give you is, I think there is one madam from JSS here. Sorry, madam, can you tell your name from JSS here?
Yeah, Dr. Shankrama K.
Okay, Dr. Shankrama K. Right. So if you ask Dr. Shankrama madam, right. So there is one very interesting way that they follow, especially for the evaluation. Right. So what do they do? As soon as the students finishes their exams, right? So they'll go for the scanning purpose, which is totally a coded one. Agree, Shankrama madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So nobody knows who is the student. Right. So because the identity will be masked. And another very interesting thing is they need not to sit and do their evaluation in the centralized place where most of the universities will follow. Right. So they can go to home. Right. So they can sit in their office. Right. So they can sit in their office. Suppose if they are traveling. Right. So while traveling, if the internet's capacity or the bandwidth is sufficient enough, even they can do their evaluation there. Agree, madam?
Yes, sir.
Right. So they'll have some credentials, the login credentials as well as the OT which is generated. Right. So it's such an it's such a boon for them. Right. So because see, more or less even their free time they can sit and evaluate the contents. Right. So sit and evaluate their contents, and then very importantly, if they feel free at home, even they can do their evaluation at their home. Right. So, but now the question arises. Right. So the question arises whether what is the level of confidentiality that the teacher is going to maintain? Yes or no? Rekha ma'am? Rekha ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Right. So level of confidentiality, whether the teacher himself or herself is evaluating the question paper, answer paper. Right. So there are so many things that we can really bring in. Right. So I'm not saying, that is a minus part. Right. So that is definitely a plus point. Right. So, but see the deployment of the technology in their university to the best extent. Right. So to the best extent, and we are all teachers. Right. So we know certain, ethics to be followed, and we have a lot of, integrity in what the work that we are going to do. Right. So, but still, we'll follow these things. Right. So this is point number one. Point number two. Right. So everybody is talking something about LMS now. Now, what is LMS stands for? What is LMS stands for?
Learning management system.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Right. So learning management system. What do we do basically in LMS? What do we do basically in LMS?
We use technology in our teaching methodology, also student management, sir.
Okay, we use the technology in teaching and the management. See,
student management.
Student management. You're absolutely
and also
right.
the evaluation process where we can assess the students wherever it is possible from our side.
Okay.
In all the Nukan corners, sir. So it is not only the classroom teaching where we use the platform to educate the students and to engage the students, where that will be a connectivity for us.
Great, sir. Great, sir. I think Manas, sir. What is your full name? Nagesh.
Dr. Nagesham, sir.
Dr. Nagesh. Sir, you are from which discipline, sir?
Sir, I'm from Social Work Department from Central Tribal Institute of Andhra Pradesh, sir.
You're from Andhra Pradesh. That's really great. Great, sir.
But I'm Mysorean, born and brought up in Mysore. Not Mysorean Huduga, but other work Central University, sir. I'm appointed here.
Anantapura?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ವಿಶಾಖಪಟ್ಟಣಂ ಹತ್ರ ವಿಜಯನಗರಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So that's really great to know, sir. Yes, but you see what Dr. Nagesh has given the answer. It's not only a classroom teaching that we does. As soon as we logged in, right? So when Professor Nanjun Swami he clicked on button saying that automatically your class session has been recorded. Why we need to record this? Why we need to record this? So this is the this is the big question mark. Why we need to record for it? Right. So
documentation.
Documentation. Absolutely right. Documentation. And then
In fact,
Nagesh sir is a very well-known, reputed, a faculty member in the social works department in his university, and students really doesn't want to miss his class, right? So, but unfortunately, few students are, our health is not good and they miss the classes, right? So, and when once the Nagesh sir has delivered his session, right? So automatically it will be recorded and stored in the database. Right. So, and whenever the students are interested, they can log in, right? So they can log in, they can see the session, and they can rewind, they can forward, they can look for what is their interesting content that they want. And anybody is from mathematician here? Anybody is from the Department of Mathematics? Okay. Anybody is from psychology here? Okay. No one is from psychology or the mathematics, right? So why?
Educational psychology, sir. I am from education department.
Education.
We have educational psychology.
That's very nice. That's very nice, right? So educational psychology, right? So why? Because why I took these two subjects, psychology and the mathematics, because they'll be knowing that how exactly the students, brains will be working on, right? So especially if you see the mathematics, right? So you believe it or not, 50% of the students won't get the things, especially that happens in the class, right? So we being the teachers, right? So we have a very minimum time, right? So because the time is restricted, probably you'll be engaging for 1 hour session or max to max 90-minute session, right? So in 90-minute session, is so much of syllabus that you need to cover, right? So that is the target, right? So that will be assigned. But how fast you can do the, derivation of all the formulas? How far, right? So how best you can, take the case studies, different case studies, and showcase yourself that this is how the mathematics is used, right? So there are so many things that really, matters, right? So what is the best thing that we can do is you go for an LMS, right? So you go for an LMS, right? So you record your, small snippets, right? So record your small snippets and you store it in your database. And whenever the students are requested, or whenever the students are required, automatically they'll fetch your, class content, right? So class content, and they'll be delivering and they'll be understanding in a much better way, because there are some of the category of the students, right? So who are called as the weak students, right? So we don't say them as an poor students, or they are not, good in their, studies, right? So but they are the slow learners, right? So because they're the slow learners, right? So that is what the word that we are supposed to use, right? So maybe when compared to the other students, the slow learners require 2 sessions or 3 sessions, right? So in order to understand the content to the best extent. But we being a teacher, right? So we being a teacher, we cannot really go on presenting the content, right? So as and when they require, right? So what is the simplest way that we can do is you try to capture a small snippet, right? So through your video, right? So through your video, and you try to store it, which is found to be very interesting, and then you can fetch it on. And then comes the management system, right? So nowadays, I think the days are gone, right? So I don't think, but still, in some of the classes or some of the session, especially to maintain the documentation, especially for the NAC purpose or from the NAC purpose or NBA, we need to maintain the documentation. Otherwise, if you're really teaching the post-graduation session, how many of you really take the attendance?
I do, sir.
Okay. Okay. So
even I do, sir.
Okay, so some of you will do, right? So what is the reason for that, right? So what is the reason for that? Because you need to have a documentation for that, right? So you need to have a documentation for that, right? So to the what level the technology has been implemented, right? So from taking the attendance, right? So from taking the attendance, attendance to the, just monitoring how the classes are going on. Right. So everybody knows what is artificial intelligence. Anybody?
Sir, not exactly, sir.
Anybody is there who doesn't know really what is artificial intelligence is?
Sir, to be honest, yeah, we need an extra knowledge regarding AI, sir.
Okay. So in a just a very, in a fundamental way of explaining what is artificial intelligence, right? So it could be a very simple definition that can be given. right? So it's as simple as that you're going to simulate the intelligence, right? So that has been created in our brain, right? So through the machines. That is basically an artificial intelligence, right? So for example, a good example that can be given is, you know how exactly our human brain works, right? So that is all artificial intelligence. It's nothing. See, computer science is the one subject, because even though I am from computer science engineer, I frankly tell, right? So because this is computer science is the one subject which is considered to be the most simplest subject that exists in this world, right? So the most simplest subject that exists in the world, but it has created a dent in such a way that, right? So it has not left any of the field. It's only because of the simple way of instructing the machine to do the things, right? So that is what is called as an artificial intelligence, incorporating the intelligence artificially through to the machines. What are machines? Basically, machines are basically the computer machines, right? So machine could be your car, machine could be your mobile phone, machine could be your Euro cleaner, right? So which cleans and mops your floors, right? So a machine could be, right? So a machine could be your laptop, right? So which learn by itself, right? So as and when the training goes on, right? So it's as simple as the how the kids, right? So are going to learn, right? So for example, if you see a small kindergarten kid that is going to a class LKG or class UKG, just you ask the kid how to write a character A, right? So what does it tell? What does it tell? Padmalata madam, you are an educator.
Yes, sir.
How
Usually they say A for apple.
Yeah, A for apple, but you have to teach how to write an A. How do you teach your kid? Or how do you generally teach a kid how to write a character A? Or similarly, any adru agirbodu or anything. It could be an
I think
Lines, sir.
I think we start from the lines.
Who is answering this?
Professor Rashmi, Srimati Rashmi Aris.
Okay. Professor Rashmi ma'am. Yes, madam. Please go ahead.
So now because I have an experience, I have done it with my daughter.
Very
so
nice.
ಮೊದಲೇನೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ alphabets ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಲು. Alphabet is a combination of lines ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವರಿಗೆ standing line ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, vertical lines, and so we start from the basics. Slanting line.
See, that is, you are absolutely right, Rashmi madam. See, how do we teach the kids? Basically, see, you take a slanting line like this, you take another slanting line like this, right? So two slanting lines, and there will be one sleeping line. So two slanting line and one sleeping line. That is how the kid learns, right? So you write any, see, there are 27, I think there are more than 25 participants in this particular classroom, and there are 25 ways of writing the character A. Agree or disagree? Right, so somebody write like this A, right? So somebody write like this A, right? So there are so many different ways of writing the character A, but never ever the kid will accept till it matures, right? So till it matures that A can also be written like this, right? So it's just simply blindly follows that A should be written in the form of two slant line and one sleeping line. That is how actually the kid is going to learn, right? So the same thing is deployed, right? So to your computer machines, right? So the same thing is deployed to your computer machines, right? So that is basically an artificial intelligence, right? So your computer machines also learns whether it looks for whether there is a slant line, and there is a sleeping line, then it identifies it's a character, right? So, but it has been advanced, right? So to the so well, right? So it has been advanced to the so well, right? So automatically it does so many things, right? So at the back end, right? So probably if you see the down the line, the past 2 decades, right? So especially from the 20 years of time, right? So the domain of an artificial intelligence has incorporated to the best, to the best sectors in almost in all the fields, right? So in almost in all the fields, right? So that is the potentiality of this information technology, right? So now, I being a computer science engineer, right? So I being a computer science engineer, right? So if I couldn't make it to give a session for today's class, what could be the simplest way that I can do? What are the other possibilities that I can look for? Right. So maybe, I've been held up with some other meetings. Otherwise, I was not feeling well today. I'm not feeling well. Otherwise, there are some other commitments to me. But unfortunately, I committed to UGC-HRD, UGC-HRD. But unfortunately, I couldn't take the class physically or through online mode. So what is the simplest way that I can do?
You can get your session being recorded at your free time and give that to the HRDC so that they can replace your time.
They'll okay. So they'll play that and you'll just keep on
Not
listening.
at that time. ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ content ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಅವರು they might make an arrangement. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಹಾಕಬಹುದು because you will keep them informed well in advance that you cannot take. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ content is most important.
Yes, that is possibility.
Content ನ ನೀವು record ಮಾಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತದ್ದು.
Your possibility, that is possibility one. Any other possibilities? What could be the other way of the Praveen sir?
Sir, ಅದು one way teaching method ಆಗ್ತದೆ sir ಆ ತರ ಆದ್ರೆ.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So I mean, we are not really quite very comfortable with that one way teaching mode. Agree? Agree or disagree? Right. So including me, we are not really happy with one way of teaching. Right. So I'll just keep on presenting for 35 minutes or 40 minutes, right? So and just you'll keep on simply listening what exactly I am doing, right? So somebody feels sleepy, or somebody they'll just they'll be doing chatting, or somebody will be seeing Facebook, somebody will be seeing their Instagram accounts, right? So but I want to keep everybody engaged, right? So but unfortunately I am not able to make for this session. So Praveen sir said, it will become always a monotonous, that it will be an only one side, one side interaction. Then I have to make two side, interaction. Any other solution, Shankarama ma'am?
Will you make us present? ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡುವಂತೆ.
Okay, Basra sir, Hubballi Basra sir. So I think he is busy. Basra sir, any solutions from your side? No. Savita ma'am?
Sir, ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಈ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಏನ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಿದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇದೆ ಅದಲ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಒಂದು ಸಂವಹನ ಏನಿರ್ತಲ್ರಿ ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕ ಅಷ್ಟರ ಮೇಲೆನೆ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನೂ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ.
Dr. Lloyd? Dr. Lloyd, do you have any solution for that?
Sir, I was thinking of deputing someone else with your contents. That would have been better.
That's a great answer. You're from which department, Dr. Lloyd?
Sir, I'm from a department of social work, sir.
Social work. That's really a great answer. Deputing someone on behalf of me. Right. So, but unfortunately, today is everybody is so occupied, right? So I cannot really spare anybody's time, right? So to engage my session, that too for 3 hours, right? So that too for 3 hours. See, what do I do is, Dr. Nagesh sir, right? So what do I do is, right? So the simplest thing that I do is, my laptop, right? Right. So I'll just train my laptop, right? So I'll just train. Yes.
Sir, there is no practical interaction between students and teachers, sir. There is also a problem, sir, in online classes.
Yes,
we are not controlling our students.
Okay. Can you just turn on video, Dr. Ramadevi, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I am from the Department of Sociology, sir.
No. Can you just turn on your video if it is possible? Otherwise, it's not in compulsion.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much. Right. So see that's the madam said there could be no interaction between the teacher and the students. But I have a wonderful solution. My laptop. I'll train my laptop in such a way that whatever I want to present for this session, right? So everything will be trained to my machine, right? So everything will train to vision, and my laptop is going to deliver a content. Right, so my laptop is going to deliver a content, right? So for the first 1 hour 15 minutes of time. Now the last 10 minutes will be a query session. Now the challenge comes, right? So there are 28 participants in this classroom. There will be a 28 questions, right? So such that I build my model such that at the back end all your questions will be captured, right? So all your questions will be captured automatically. It is processed at the back end. Back end means in the internet, the answer is generated and the answer is given to you. Are you happy with this? Are you happy with this solution?
No, sir. Instructional technology.
See, my laptop is giving a better answer than me. Why you are not happy with that? Why you are not happy with that?
Where would your laptop have taken the solution for our queries?
See, that is laptop's problem, because I'll write a program. Otherwise, I'll train my laptop in such a way that, see, any queries that you ask, right? So have you generated any question or the query to the Google such that the Google says no answer for that query?
No, it does give answer for everything.
Yeah, starting from how to prepare uppit, how to prepare kesari bath, to how to spoil the entire country, right? So you will get any damn question you will get an answer. And after all, what are you trying to ask for? You are trying to ask for some questions which are relevant to your subject. Definitely you will get an answer through Google, right? See, why I'm telling this is the future education that we are expecting. Right. So this is the future education that we are expecting, and there could be a highly challenging task, right? So because everybody, everything which has to be done by me, right? So which has to be done by me, right? So is done by my laptop, right? So is done by my laptop because I've trained my laptop in such a way that it answers everything. And most of you said, including Shankrama of the JSS-HR, because why I'm taking that JSS-HR is because JSS-HR is considered to be highly sophisticated, very well equipped information technology is available in their university, and still they are marking their attendance manually, right? So see, if there are 60 students in a class, I need to call all 60 students' name. Yes or no? To call each name, you will take 30 seconds. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So you have 40 minutes of session. How many minutes you lose if you want to call 30 students? Right. So you just try to calculate that many number of minutes you lose per class. And in a semester, you have to teach for 50 hours. For 50 hours, how many number of minutes you lose only by calling your attendance? And you are not supposed
Sir,
to call.
in my case is different. In our division, only limited members, 10 members only. It is easy for me. So by look over, I
Madam,
can take attendance.
I think you are from PG department, that is fine. But otherwise, if it is an UG department, where the class strength is 60, 65, 70.
More than 100 also there, sir.
Yes, if you take our, engineering streams and all, computer science, we have 300 students. At a session, I teach for 300 students. So you calling 300 students' name is not an easy thing. So what do? I'll simply take my laptop. Do you agree that every laptop comes with a camera?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the simplest solution that I can do? Do you know that the cameras can capture your images, photo images?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just train my laptop in such a way that you take my laptop. Anyways, I'll carry my laptop to conduct the classes such that I'll do like this. Right, so the entire class I'll do like this. Automatically, it captures everybody's face. Right, so and it records the attendance. You see the beauty of the technology. Right, so within no seconds, without wasting any time, with just a small, doing like this, you're trying to capture your attendance status.
That's
Right. So, and now all the government universities has made a compulsory to give the biometric. Agree or not?
Yes, agree, sir.
You agree,
sir.
right? So, is it feasible to give your fingerprint, just to mark an attendance? Is it advisable? No, because
sir, you are talking about the facial recognition technology. It is used in classrooms.
yes, you are absolutely. Whose answer is that?
Dr. Suresh, sir.
You are absolutely right, sir. Face recognition. Right. So you're just, you do the face recognition and you'll capture it and attendance is done. So now I am talking about teachers giving an biometric. Right. So teachers giving an biometric. Right. So is it feasible to give your biometric, which is considered to be an very sensitive, right? So which is very sensitive to your institute to mark your attendance? Does it need it? But in the country like India, we never ever bother about our privacy. Right. So they are asking, biometric, we just give biometric, that's it, done. Right. So where do they use that biometric? How do they use that biometric? Whether your biometrics are secured. Right. So whether have you taken any undertaking from your university saying that your biometric has not been tampered? Including me, I have not done. Right. So though I am a computer science engineer, I have not done that. Because in our country, we just we believe it in trust. Right. So, but if you just see the developed countries, you cannot even capture the images, right? So without their permission. And you think about giving a biometric, right? So how does it work out? Right. So it's simple as this. As soon as you enter the campus, you go for the continuous monitoring of the images of what you are trying to enter, where you are trying to enter. Automatically your images will be captured, automatically it is stored in the database, automatically your attendance is marked. Agree or disagree? And there are so many things that are happening, right? So even the government is very particular, informing the university authorities, saying that stay hours is not maintained, the teachers comes and go, right? So they won't be in the campus, right? So there are so many issues that are going on. We just try to deploy everything through the analysis, right? So that is how actually we have to do it, right? So these are all some of the very interesting things that we can really do by using the various information technology that is available in the present trend. Along with that, especially in the education sector, right? So especially in the education sector, right? So we can use this information tech, right? So such that this information technology can be used to the poorest, right? So I think just a week back, right? So just a week back, there was one big news from UGC. Can anybody tell what is that news from UGC? Because we are all from UGC university sector. Can anybody tell what was the big decision that they have taken just a last 1 week back? I think Dr. Shankrama has to tell because UGC,
regarding
one second. UGC chairman was in your campus.
Yeah, for convocation he came, sir.
Yes. What was the big decision that the UGC has taken just 1 week back?
I hope for interdisciplinary skill-oriented program is...
No, that is there from NEP. As soon as they launched NEP, interdisciplinary is exists from 2021 only. Otherwise,
sorry, sir, I am not aware of that.
Foreign universities can open
twinning degrees, I think, dual degree or twinning degree. From Host Institute, we can send some people for completion of 12 credit for foreign universities and all.
Circular that has been given by the UGC. Anybody has saw that? Shivkumar sir? Shivkumar sir?
Sir, foreign universities ಇಲ್ಲಿ I mean ಅವ್ರದ್ದು wing ನ open ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ permission.
Yeah, that is there from so many number of years. That is they are working out, but even the Indian education sectors is fighting not to do that. But from 2025 onwards, it is allowed. Right. So the first university to come is the Australian University, Duke University. They are planning to establish from 2025 onwards. Otherwise, other than that,
hybrid mode of classes, sir.
Sorry.
Hybrid mode of classes?
Hybrid mode of classes, we are already doing. This is hybrid mode of classes, what we are doing.
Yes, sir.
See, otherwise there is a very interesting circular that has been given by the UGC at a given point of time. Any student is eligible to take or to do 2 degrees at a time, which was not there earlier. Right. So in the same year, you can do 2 degrees. Right. So in the different ways. Right. So either one can be done in physical mode and one can be done in online mode. One can be done either in the morning slot, one can be done in the evening slot. Right. So you do whatever you want. Otherwise, you can do it during the weekends. 1 degree can be done during the weekdays. Right. So at a given point of time, if he is eligible, right, so he can do, right, so you can do the 2 degrees at a time. So then why I'm telling this, why I'm giving this example is because this particular circular is going to make it mandatory for almost all the universities to come out with this kind of an classroom conduction. That is, we should be very well equipped with physical classes, as well as we should be very well equipped with the online classes. Because if any student comes and takes the admission and tells that in the morning slot I'm going to do the physical classes in the physics, and in the evening class I'm going to do the online classes in the social works, then obviously the university has to give the permission, because that is an UGC rule. University cannot go against the UGC regulations or the UGC rule, right? So then obviously already most of the universities are acute shortage of human resource. Agree or disagree? In most of the universities, including our own Mysore University, University of Mysore, right? So the last employment that was done is more than 15 years or 18 years back. Agree?
Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
So in that sense, right? So in that sense, definitely university will pressurize you, right? So you should be knowing both the online conduction of an online classes, conduction of LMS, managing the LMS, evaluation through the LMS. There are so many other things. That is point number 1. Point number 2, you should be in a position to do the things physically also, right? So because that will become order of the day. It is not much beyond time, right? So hardly by another 2 or 3 years, this 24, 25 onwards, right? So this will become a mandatory, right? So this will become a mandatory, right? So why I'm telling this is because we need to Praveen sir, you have some question.
ಬಟ್ ಈ ತರ ಮೊದಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಎರಡು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ?
No. As such, no universities will offer 2 degrees at the same duration of a time.
Okay, sir.
And if they have done, that will become an illegal, because there is no any UGC class which says that at the same duration of time you can do 2 degrees.
ಬಟ್ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇತ್ತಾ? ಮೊದಲೇನೋ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿದ ನೆನಪು ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ.
No, but that is also with lot of other constraints.
Okay, sir.
Lot of other constraints, because that was given, right? So that was given only during the last final year sessions, right? So last final year sessions, right? So by making a special request to the university. Otherwise you cannot. Right. So but now it is coming into picture, right? So now it is coming into picture. Okay. Now how many of you uses this information technology to teach in your classes? Flip classrooms, or not just an OHP projector or the LCD projector. Other than that, do you use any other materials to conduct your classes? Huh?
PPT,
Dr. Lloyd?
So we do some practical sessions, sir, for PRA and all. We go out, means outside on the ground and all, and we do that, sir.
Okay.
And other than that, we do use PPT and all.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose if you want to give assignments and all, how do you do? If you want to give assignments, right? So you want to fix a deadline for them, right? So automatically the deadline has to end, right? So automatically all the data has to come into your portal, automatically you have to evaluate it, automatically you have to send the marks.
Sir, LMS has this provision, sir, of giving assignments and all, deadlines and all. But usually we still follow the manual model. Yes, sir, conventional. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So is it possible to, because it all depends upon the universities. Because I agree that some of the universities, I am not telling most of the universities, some of the universities are not in a position to procure LMS. Agree? Most of the colleges, including most of the universities and university colleges, have not procured LMS. Agree or disagree? Nagesh sir?
Yes, sir. I agree, sir.
Yes. Right. So then, is there any possible way that we can do our own LMS on our way?
We can do, but there are so many technical issues that would come and physical issues that would come.
Okay. See, for example, Dr. Lloyd was telling, right, so assignment, giving an assignment and assignment evaluation. How many of you don't have Gmail account? Question is underline. How many of you don't have? How many of you don't have Gmail account? I think today's world, if you are using, except iPhone, if you are using, and if you are using Android phone, right, so 99.99% you are supposed to have an Gmail account. Agree? Okay, sir?
Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Ramadevi madam, agree?
Sir.
Ramadevi madam, agree? Okay, Vinay sir? Vinay Kumar?
Sir.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, if you have one Gmail account, that is more than enough. Right. So how it is more than enough? Right. So it gives so many different options to conduct the classes. Right. So I think we are in a Zoom call now, but there is which is an alternate competitor for the Zoom call?
Google Meet. Google Meet.
Google
Meet.
Don't tell me WhatsApp call. It's a Google Meet, right? So it's a Google Meet, right? So, but there is some restriction. Yeah, there is some restriction with the Google Meet as well as the Zoom. What is the problem?
Sir, Google Meet only 100 students.
Also time.
Yeah, you can allow only 100 users and also the time, right? So now, how best we can make use this particular Gmail account itself to make our class, very interactive or IT enabled classrooms. A simple example is you just try to explore, right? So maybe you can take it as an assignment. How many of you used, there is a concept called Google Classrooms.
No, sir.
How many of you used Google Classrooms? Okay, I think Murugesh sir has used. Murugesh sir has used. Great.
Even we
yeah, Praveen sir has used. Okay. Very nice. Nagesh sir?
Yes, sir, I have used, sir. I have used.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Padmalata ma'am?
Sir, we use Google Meet, sir.
Okay, Google Meet, but try to use, right? So try to use this Google Classroom today, right? So and try to see what all are the various features that are available, right? So you can make your classes so interactive, right? So you can make your classes so interactive such that most of the assignments can be floated, right? So most of the assignments can be evaluated. The time can be fixed, right? So the time can be fixed. You can give the MCQ test, right? So you can conduct the online tests, right? So you know something called the proctor examinations, right? So if you want to conduct a proctor-based examination, right? So, but I think that requires a minimal nominal, charges, but otherwise also for the free trial, right? So suppose if you want to conduct test only for 20 minutes of time, right? So you can definitely make it, right? So how does it do, right? So you know something called gaze tracking. You know something called gaze tracking. Gaze is nothing but an eyesight tracking, right? So the Google will capture your movement of the eyes, right? So such that you are moving you're moving your iris or you're moving your eyes towards that side or this side or trying to copy something else, right? So this is how actually you can capture, right? So the tracking of the students who are writing for the test for 20 minutes through the classroom. So you have to just try and see, right? So you'll enjoy like anything, right? So you'll enjoy like anything, right? So this is, it obviously comes with the LMS, but as we already told, LMS doesn't, doesn't owned by most of the universities, but we are trying to make the possibility as simple as that, right? So we are trying to make the possibility as simple as that, right? So such that the free source will be used to the best extent. That is the point number one. And point number two, whenever you are trying to teach something, right? So whenever you are trying to teach something, do you really feel that your sessions should be made available online? How many of you agree with this? How many of you want to make sure that your classes should be made available to the students through online? Pradeep sir? Pradeep sir? Pradeep Bobate. Yeah. Right. So do you want to make your class that has conducted to be made online available? Rashmi Aras? Dr. Rashmi Aras?
लेक्चर ऐकू येईना ऑनलाईन अवेलेबल झालं तुम्हाला आवडेल का? Yes sir म्हणलो की.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Yeah, you're there. Definitely, I know you are there. But do you want to really make your class to made available on the online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. Right.
Yeah.
So, but what is the simplest way that we can do? What is the simplest way that we can do? But see, if we conduct a class for 45 minutes, I think it will take more than 1 GB of data. You know what is a 1 GB of data? That I'll try to explain in the next session. What is GB? What is software tools that are available, etc. But 1 GB of data, where can you store this data? Any solution for this? I think most of you know this.
Google Drives.
Google Drives, absolutely right.
Sir, yes.
But unfortunately, Google Drive will give only 15 GB. Beyond that?
Cloud computing.
Very nice. It's not cloud computing, it is only cloud. Computing is something which comes later. If you does something, any calculations, computations, then the computing comes into picture. Otherwise, it is only a cloud. Right. So how much does it charge us? Hardly 600 rupees per year. Right. So hardly 600 rupees per year. You know Amazon Cloud Service, you know Yahoo service, you know Microsoft Azure services. Right. So there are so many different services that are offered. Right. So this is one way of really, storing your content. So what do you get out of it? Suppose if you make your classes made available today, right? So what is the advantage that you are going to get?
Students anytime sit.
Yes, students anytime that you can see, that anytime that they can see, then?
And you can improve yourself also.
Very nice. You can revise your own classes, yes or no? You can revise your own classes and you can evaluate yourself, right? So what is the best case study that I can give? What is the best example that I can give? Where can I improve myself, right? So what is the, does it really require any, pictorial representation? Does it require any mathematical derivations, right? So does it require any case studies? Right. So automatically you can improvise yourself. See, this is how actually the self-evaluation, self-evaluation takes place with respect to your classes. Right. So, but for this, right. So you need basically what? Right. So you need basically a technology for this. Right. So you need basically a technology for this. Right. So, and I think most of the universities are very much insisting. Right. So based upon your self-appraisal report. Right. So yes or no? Do you agree with me? Based upon your self-appraisal report,
yes,
right?
Sir,
So
yes, sir.
Only then you will be eligible for the next increments. Agree or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
right.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, in private universities and all, it's a mandatory because of this NIRF ranking and ISQGAJ ranking or any other QS ranking and all. This ranking has become a mandatory. In order to do this, ranking mandatory, right? So the teachers has to put an effort, right? So nowadays the institutes, the universities, the different schools have not become only the teaching institutes. Now the institutes has become what? Whether it could be an university, whether it can be an institute or the college. It is not only a teaching college. It is not only a teaching institute. It is not only a teaching university. What is now? What is compulsory now?
Research oriented.
Yes, you are absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right. It is always research, right? So the teaching as well as research is made compulsory, whether you like it or don't like it, right? So the days will come. The days are not far away, right? So the days are not far away. If you want your self-appraisal to be done, you are supposed to achieve the minimum number of points. So you have to be good in the teaching as well as you are supposed to be good in your research.
Publications.
Now you want, sorry, sir?
Publications, sir. We have to produce publications.
Right.
Yeah.
So as soon as research, you talk in terms of research, absolutely the next set of things that comes into picture is publications. So you do your research, you show the publications, you take your appraisal, you take your promotions, then you go ahead. Right. So this is what the trend that you are going to see down the line from from 2 years now on. Right. So, but in most of the private universities, I think you can ask Dr. Shankarama in their private university, which is a deemed university. Right. So there, the constraint is very stringent. Right. So unless otherwise there is no publication, you cannot just, go for the career progression. And this is true with the government, government universities also. And this is much more stringent, especially with the central universities. Agree, Praveen, sir? Praveen, sir, do you agree with that? Central University?
Yes, sir.
Nagesh, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you agree with that, sir? So,
Yes,
the teaching, research, publication, Central University, it's compulsory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it is compulsory, right? So whether you do one or whether you do two, right? So, but two is at least minimum. You are supposed to do 2 publications per year. But now, right? So, but now the university doesn't ask you for physical verification of your documentation, right? So, it doesn't ask for your physical verification now, right? So, there is some or the other way that you should project yourself. Right. So some are the other way that you should project yourself. See, in today's class, now if I want to go to Andhra and if I want to go to Central University of Andhra, right. So I have a friend, Dr. Nagesh, sir. Right. So it's so simple to get connect with him. I think if I go to Calicut, Central University Kerala, I have Dr. Praveen, sir. Right. So which has given a edge to, right. So to build the association between my university and Central University Kerala. And similarly, Dr. Ganesh sir is there, right? So I can easily contact the Ganesh sir, right? So, but I know that Dr. Praveen is extremely good in, the field of Kannada. So if I want to, make use of his expertise, right? So I can obviously, I can reach it to Dr. Dr. Praveen. And similarly, in the same way, Dr. Nagesh sir, and similarly with respect to the Dr. Ganesh sir. But what is my question? My question is basically, how do you yourself, right? So make sure that your present exists, right? So present exists to the world, right? So to the world, it's not only through your publications. It is not only through your, research. It is not only through your teaching, but it is something else, right? So, but it is something else, right? So that is where actually we need to give a thought, right? So that is where actually we need to give a thought. And that is where actually we need to give a concentration that how do I really manage to showcase myself that this is what my strength is, such that in any part of the world, right? So such that in any part of the world, right? So everybody can view my profile, right? So everybody can view my profile and can see that what exactly I am doing it. Yes or no? Right. So with this, I think 11:15. Do we supposed to break?
11:50 to 11:45, sir.
Nagesh sir?
Sir, 11:15 to 11:45 is the break.
Okay, okay. So now I think 11:16. I think we'll take a break for 30 minutes. We'll come back. I have very minimum slides that are prepared, right? So maybe 10 to 15 slides, which are very interesting tools that are available, which you can make use of to your own domains, right? So which you can make use of to your own domains, right? So and can really build the bridge between the different discipline. And we'll see very importantly that we need to showcase ourselves to the outside world that I exist and this is my specialization. How do we do that? That we'll try to see maybe at 11:45. Okay, can we take a break now?
Yes, sir.
We can, sir. We can.
Yeah, thank you,
sir.
Rashmi. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
catch
Thank
up
you.
at-
No, I had some class issues, so that's why I just ran and came out of the.
Absolutely no problem. We'll catch up at 11:45 sharp.
No, in fact, Harish sir, my closing note is this: online and AI has created more multitasking for individuals, wherein we need to be balancing many things at an end. It would have been nice if we had taken an offline class.
Yeah.
We would have relieved of our responsibilities here.
even definitely. See, at the I can
Multitasking
see.
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಈಗ. Expectations ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ.
I can see that you're moving from one room to another room, right? So by keeping your hands free with your phone, right? So that is the beauty of technology. But as you already told, if it would have been a physical classes, we could have enjoyed with lot many examples.
Yes, we could have learned nicely. Completely, we could have learned. Thank you, sir. Thank you.